Welcome to HowTo in a Few. Our next project, we're going to take a look at this Chevy Venture, which has a squealing idler pulley. Now there's two idler pulleys plus a tensioner. All three of those parts have bearings on them that can fail and produce this type of symptom. And you can hear it probably in the background, a little bit of a squeak. And gradually over the last week or so, this has gotten worse. And eventually that bearing is going to completely go bad, possibly throw that idler pulley off and cause the belt to jump and leave somebody stranded on the side of the road. So first step in this is we're going to take a can of WD-40 and actually spray it on those three suspect parts, the two idler pulleys and the tensioner pulley bearing, and locate the one that's actually faulty. That being said, I've already purchased all three of the parts and a new belt, because while I'm in there doing it, I'm going to do it all. But let's check and see which of the parts is in fact the one that is calling out to us that it needs to be changed. So I'm fairly confident that you're not going to be able to see all of these parts that I'm talking about, but the shiny one that is right here, that is one of the idler pulleys. Then there's one directly below what appears to be an air pump, directly below this pulley. And then you can also see the arm underneath that pulley. This is the arm for the tensioner, which also has a pulley further down. But judging from where the sound's coming from, I think it's the idler pulley directly below this air pump pulley right here. So I'm going to try to carefully shoot this WD-40 only on that one to see if it goes away. And I immediately notice a difference. Let's give it a little more. Okay. Don't you love it when something works right? So we definitely know that it's the idler pulley right there. The closest one to the front. They're all rather difficult to get to. It's already starting to talk to us again. So let's go ahead and turn the engine off before it gets too hot. And then in a little while I'll try to start this project. Alright, first thing we're going to do is try to open this up a little bit, take off some of this plastic. And take a look at what we're up against. Looks like all 1/2-inch bolts, so I'm going to grab some 1/2-inch wrenches and sockets. I'll be right back. Okay, they ended up not being 1/2-inch and not 9/16 even. They're actually 15 millimeter. So let's go ahead and see if we can crack them loose. I'm going to double these wrenches just to get some leverage. That one is loose. That one's loose. And that one is not going to want me to use a wrench, so we'll be forced to use a ratchet. Boy, nice and loose, let me tell you. Alright, now we're going to take off the belt by using this 1/2-inch ratchet. and it's going to go into the tensioner. Here we see what that tensioner looks like, and there's a spot right here for this to fit in, and then you can leverage against it to pull it. It's actually spring loaded. So you'll pull it up, that'll loosen the belt. With the other hand, pull the belt off of one of the pulleys and then let this relax again, and we will be putting a new one of those in. So let's see if we can get that. Alright, there, the belt's loose. Whoa, that tensioner wants to go way back. Pull my ratchet out. Now there's a nice diagram right here showing me how the belt goes back on, since I really didn't take note before taking it off. And here we can look. It probably has a little bit of life left, even though it's kind of frayed on the ridges. Well, they're crumbling a little bit, but we're going to change it, obviously. Alright, working from the furthest part away to the front, we're going to take off the tensioner first. You know what, since this idler pulley's right here, we'll make sure that's loose. Maybe we can get them both out at the same time. I tell you, my dad would not appreciate this. He's a firm believer in fixing the problem, not fixing future problems. I, on the other hand, don't want to do this again for a while. And there's always the argument that once you mess with something, that's gonna make it break earlier. But okay, so that's a good part. We might keep that. All right, I know my head's gonna be in your way to see, but I don't think you can really see what I'm doing anyway. Simply putting the tensioner where it goes, starting the screw back in. There's a little pin in the tensioner that adjusts where it goes. New tensioners installed. Next up is our new pulley. Notice it has a nice dust shield. I like that. Alright, I know all you can probably see is my back, but okay, tensioners are tight. Believe it or not, all we have left now is to finagle this belt on and we will be done. Okay, last part is to get this new belt on, which will likely be the hardest part of the job. Now my general strategy here is to try to get the belt as close to the right arrangement as possible. and then we'll see how we want to get that final loop over. It'll most likely be in the back. Alright, starting over. We're coming at it from the bottom. I don't know if you can see this picture, but I'm going to try to get it around the main drive pulley first. Here we are. Air conditioner, drive pulley done. Air conditioner's leaving me already. Drive pulley, air conditioner, and now we're going to come around. Guess the next thing I'm going to do is try to come around that tensioner in the back. And then around the alternator. Okay. Everything is on except for the top tensioner. So the trick now is to pull, the top, everything's on except for the top idler pulley. The trick now is going to be to bend that tensioner, get enough play to slide this underneath this pulley. And I would say, let me move the camera so you can see it and all that kind of jazz, but right now I just want to get it done. So this, I'm going to try to get this hand in here on the tensioner. If I can get it pulled back far enough. And that's not going to work. I believe I'm going to need an extra hand, so I'm gonna get my son to come. He's not gonna want to be on camera, so you won't see it probably happening. I don't know, maybe so. Let's see what happens. Alright, so a lot has happened since I was last with you. Last time I left you, I said I was going to get my son to help me, and it ended up being my wife that helped me. And we fought with this belt to get it on until we realized that the woman said that just bring back the belt if it's not the right size. Well, that made me think that maybe she knew. And in any event, it was not the right size. So new belt, after I took some of the other parts off just to make sure I didn't install anything incorrectly. I looked it up, and in fact she gave me a belt one size too small. So we got the new belt and just now put it on, and it seems like it's on all of the pulleys. So I'm gonna go ahead and crank it up, and hopefully it won't pop off. And most importantly, you won't hear that little whistling noise that we had previously. Alright, so other than some lifter noise, because it is an old car, the whistling noise is gone. The new belt, it's already too dark now for you to probably see, but let's see if we can kind of zoom in. Yeah, I don't know, you can't really see much. You see the labels passing by. Eventually those labels are going to wear off. But the main thing is, no more squealing from the idler pulleys, so I feel relatively secure in the thought that the car is not going to leave my family stranded. Alright, so one less project to do around here. This one seems to be done. A lot of times you watch videos and everything seems like it fits and goes perfectly, but you can look at these hands and how dark it is out here, and realize that sometimes it just doesn't go right. Sometimes you're going to have to deal with problems like wrong parts, parts too small, even defective parts, broken parts, and this is one of those days when you have to really think, do you want to do this yourself or not? I'm dirty, I'm cut up, but the car is finished, and hopefully it helped you if you needed to do something like this, and also hopefully it went a little smoother for you than it did for me. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Check out our sponsors. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below. And as always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.